Hey folks, I have your latest home prices and insights for Peel and Durham area for week ending November the 3rd. Before I get into the numbers though, I want to focus on something else just for a minute. I have here Mississauga detached properties only. Now I talked about this in my other video for the City of Toronto, but I was just talking about the City of Toronto. Let me zero in on Mississauga detached properties for example here. Now, I'm going back to the year 2000, and I have here average sold price. Now, when we go back, and we're going back over 21 years now or so, you know, average sold price typically has been going up 3, 4, 5% a year. And back then, people were still talking about, oh, if you haven't bought now, there's no way you're going to be able to buy. Well, people have bought, and life has moved on. But that's a different problem than what we're having now, because prices have been going up 10, 15, 20% a year. They're just crazy numbers that we've been seeing. And so real estate, I think, has never been so top of mind and so much in the news. And there's so many factors and so many possible solutions out there that could affect real estate prices. But my attitude is keeping it simple. It really boils down to supply and demand. Excuse me. So when we hear interest rates, for example, are going up, first, I don't know if anyone's really surprised that interest rates are going up, but they are. And they're going to go up 3, 4, 5, 6 times next year, they're saying. Well, how does that affect prices? Well, it affects prices indirectly through demand. If less people can afford to buy now, demand is lower. So supply and demand is really, how do any outside factors, how's the economy, how does, you know, things happening in other countries affect our ability to buy and sell homes, but really supply and demand. So here's average sold price. Now for this year, 2021, for Mississauga, I've got $1,540,000 so far. That's way up from where we've been the last few years. And that's as of the end of October. So there's still 2 months left, but it's probably going to stay north of 1.5 somewhere. And this slide really tells the whole story. These are the amount of listings for detached properties in Mississauga for the years, going back to the year 2000. Well, we know population has grown. We know the amount of properties every year. More and more properties get built, get put out on the market. But listings from where we used to be before, so we've got 2008, we're listing 7,000 and 8,000 a year. The last few years we've listed, we went down to 6,000, then 5,000, and so far this year we're sitting at 4,000, but we'll probably get to 5,000. But from 6, 7, and 8,000 a year down to 4, 5, and 6,000 a year, compounded over 10 to 12 years, that's the problem. We know there's more population, more demand on real estate. We know there's more properties, but there's fewer and fewer properties coming onto the market every year. So supply every year has been getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And no wonder average sold price has been going up and up. And the problem really started over here in these years here, 2010 and to 2015, as far as less inventory. But it's compounded, and now supply, demand, that's the issue. That's the problem. I don't know what the solution is. If you have an answer, please comment below. Let me know what you feel can be a good solution for affecting supply and demand. I don't think it's, you know, snap your fingers and sort it out overnight. However, it's taken 10 to 12 years to get into this problem. Let's see how quickly we could turn that around. Let's get into the numbers. Okay, so let's talk about Peel and Durham area. Now for Durham, I've got Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby as one area. Here's a quick summary of average sold price for these 3 areas. For Peel and Durham, so I've got Mississauga, the orange here is Brampton, and the red here is the Durham area. Now, Mississauga has got the highest average sold price of $1,711,000. Let's take a close look at Mississauga here. This is for detached properties only. Sales came down a little bit to 63. You know, we used to be up 120 or so, but now we're half of that. And we expect sales to slow down a little bit as we get into the colder months. But, you know, we're kind of hoping there'd be a lot more sales right now. 12 of those sold at $2 million or more. And the average sold price is a record for Mississauga. The word record is something you've been hearing when we talk about real estate. You've been hearing that over and over this year. Well, $1,711,000 is a record for the average detached property sold in Mississauga. That's way up there. Now, some neighborhoods went up a little bit. Some neighborhoods have gone up quite a bit. I'm doing this. I'm presenting the numbers. They're accurate numbers, but how your neighborhood is affected could be different than what the overall average is. Well, for sure it's different. So if you want to talk to me at all about what's going on in your neighborhood, if you have any kind of real estate questions, something you want to talk about, you could reach out to me directly. In the description to this video below, there's a link to my calendar. Book a time that's convenient for you. It's really simple to just click away and book a time, and I'll be available to talk to you about whatever's on your mind, real estate related, buying, selling, general real estate questions. We'll talk about your specific situation. Okay, let's get back into this. $1,711,000 is, drum roll please, 42% higher than last year's average sold price. Now, you know, there's a lot of expensive properties that were sold in this particular week that brings average sold price up, but still, let's forget about 42% and look at the previous weeks. We've got 30%, we got 32%, we got 24%, 27%. 42% was last week's crazy number. Of the 63 that sold, 73% sold at list price or more. And listings are down. Again, so sales are down, but so are listings. Months of inventory is sitting at 0.6 with the average days on market 14. 0.6 months of inventory. When I talk about months of inventory, that's really the relationship between supply and demand. Prices revolve around supply and demand. We saw lumber prices go up because people were at home not working. More demand on lumber, but they couldn't get them across the border because of COVID. There's a whole supply chain thing. Prices went up. Supply and demand. Here we have Brampton. We sold 83 detached properties in Brampton last week, so sales have been coming down. You could see it kind of all year long. Sales have been coming down. 6 of those sold at $2 million or more, but average sold price shot way up. Also a record. $1,429,000 was the average sold price of a detached property in Brampton for week ending November 3rd. It's a crazy number, I know. So just keep in mind that average sold prices have been going up. This is not the norm. It's, we'll say, a crazy abnormal week. There were a lot of high-end properties being sold that brings the average sold price up. We'll see how it levels out over the next few weeks. But that is 44% higher than last year's average sold price. Of the 83 that were sold, 78% sold at list price or more. It's going to feel like almost all of them. Listings went up, which is nice to see. Normally, you know, for a lot of the other market segments, we've been seeing listings going down. We listed 115 detached properties. Months of inventory is sitting at 0.4. If you're looking for a detached home in Brampton, you want to keep an eye on this one. It's located in the family-friendly neighborhood of Northwood Park. It's 4 bedrooms and over 2,100 square feet above grade. The lot is an impressive 40 feet wide and 131 feet deep. That's why you have a massive backyard with plenty of room to play in. I can't show you photos of the inside just yet because the home is getting ready to go on the market, but I can tell you the sellers prefer a long closing, so there could be an opportunity here for you if you need extra time. Call me for details. Here's Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby. I'm using those to represent the Durham area. 49 detached properties were sold. Average sold price came down a little bit, sitting at $1,273,000. It came down from a record price the previous week, but you could see average sold price, it's pretty clear. You know, if you focus in on 1 week, you could say, you know, abnormal sales one way or another forces price up and down, but overall, you kind of look at the trajectory, average sold price has been going up quite a bit since the summer. The average sold price currently is sitting at 36% higher than last year's average sold price. Not 5%, 6%, 7% where most people are kind of okay and comfortable with. 36% higher than last year's average sold price. 86% of those sales sold at list price or more. 86, it's like all of them. That's how it's going to feel if you're in the market out there. Listings went up a little bit, which is nice to see, but nowhere near where we needed to be to help deal with the kind of demand that's out there. And months of inventory is sitting at 0.4 with the average days on market only 7. Here's a summary of months of inventory. Although for Brampton and Pickering, they went up by 0.1 from the previous week. You're not going to feel that. 0.3 months of inventory or 0.4 months of inventory, 0.5 months of inventory, no real difference that you're going to feel it out there. We need to get to 2 months and 3 months of inventory for there to really, you know, feel the difference out there. It's a tight market. My name is Santo Sessa with RE/MAX Premier. Hope you got some value of this. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell button to be reminded when these videos come up. Have a great day.